Hi, this is Mrs. Frenzel, and this is your last tutorial for iMovie, and we're going to be learning about advanced editing techniques. Professional editors can spend hours agonizing over a single cut, but really what you need to remember is that a single shot should convey a single, clear piece of information, and if you can't say aloud what the subject of the shot is, then you probably shouldn't use it. Your movies will be much better if they're shorter, and the easiest way to keep your movies short is to look for repetition and redundancy in your footage. Most clips in the finished product should only last 3 seconds or less. This shot, by the way, lasts too long. We're going to use a project that's already set up for us. These are vacations shots shot in Bhutan. And if you notice, when you skim through the timeline at the bottom, the first 3 are kind of establishing shots that tell you where the video is taken, but then the 4th shot just jumps right into the dancers. So we're going to add a transition shot that shows the crowd getting into its place, getting ready to watch this festival. We're going to get some practice dragging a file in from a folder. So you need to go to your Lesson 8 folder and find the movie file, drag it into your event browser, and it's going to show up at the very top because it's sorted by date. And then you simply need to click it and drag it in between the 3rd and 4th clips. Now you'll see the crowd showing up and finding their seats, and then it will transition into the festival. Now let's skip to the 13th shot. It is the clip that I was showing in the introduction where they're dancing in a line and it takes way too long. So what we're going to do is split this clip up and insert a picture, a related picture that's just shot from a different viewpoint. Place your cursor in the middle of that shot and then go up to your browser, and there's a similar shot. It's the second one down. It's just closer up, and you're going to click on it and go to Edit, Insert. Now you'll see that clip's been split in 2 and the close-up's been placed between them. Now we're going to use a cutaway, and a cutaway is useful if you want to cover up some bad footage, or you might use it in an interview as B-roll when the person being interviewed is talking about something. You can cut away to this shot and it shows what they're talking about. Clip number 7 has some blurry frames about halfway through, and then it clears up. Place your playhead about halfway where the blurriness begins, and then go up to your event browser, and we're going to use the 4th clip down, which is a video of some monks watching the dancing. And we're going to place that right above that video clip in the timeline, and it's going to cut away to the monks watching the dancing and cover up the blurriness. You can always move and trim that cutaway if you'd like. Now we're going to use the picture-in-picture effect, which is really a lot of fun, but in reality won't get used very much. We'll be doing this just for practice. Place your cursor in the middle of the clip that followed the cutaway. Then select a picture from your browser and drag it on top just like you did for the cutaway. When you do that, you'll notice that there is an overlay button that's new on your toolbar. Simply click on it and choose Picture-in-Picture. Now you can reposition the picture and resize it. Be sure to click the blue Accept button. And there it is. Now we're going to use a continuity cut using the footage of the line dancers that we worked with before. The goal is to find a similar action in both the wide shot and the close-up shot and make the cut at that point so that the transition is fluid. The precision editor will help us do that. So double-click in the gray area between the first 2 clips. Then zoom in on your timeline so you can see more detail. And then let's drag your upper clip, which is the outgoing clip. Find a spot where the girl's foot lands on the pavement, the right foot, right there. Now let's do the same for the incoming clip on the bottom. Drag the footage back and forth until you see the girl's foot hit the pavement, the right foot. Now drag your cursor along the gray area in between the two clips slowly, and you can see the transition. Now there's one thing that will make this cut even better, and that's if we make that transition happen at a point where the girl's foot is not hitting the pavement, but maybe just coming halfway down. Because we have their actions synchronized, all we need to do is drag this yellow ball back and forth and pick a point where we want the cut to be made. Now let's do a continuity cut for the second and third clips in this series. I'm dragging the first clip, trying to find the point where the girl's right foot hits the ground. And then I'm going to go down to the incoming clip and do the same thing, find where her right foot hits the ground. And then once I have that established, they're synchronized, I just need to adjust the cut point. So I'm going to back up just a little bit. We've finished all of the editing as far as cutting and trimming our clips. Now we're going to focus on the fun part, which is the enhancing or the special effects. That includes things like titles, applying the Ken Burns effect, transitions, slow motion, video filters, and color correction. First, we'll add a photo of the mountain range to our project, and we'll use that as the title slide. I'm going to drag mine in from my desktop because my library is not synced right now, but you can go to your Photos library in the sidebar and go to Chapter 1, the Bhutan folder, and drag over the mountain vista picture. Once it's in your media browser, locate it at the bottom and drag it into your timeline. It will be the very first clip of the project. Now we'll apply the Ken Burns effect, which is usually a zoom in or out or a pan, and you'll find that tool under the crop section. So you can press C for crop or click on the crop button. You have frames for start and end, so you can drag those frames or resize them however you want. Make sure you click on the blue button when you're done. Now let's preview it. It's moving pretty fast, and that's because there's a large difference between my start and end frames. So let's go back and make them closer in size and position them more closely. And this is much more subtle in effect. I like that. Now let's add a title for our first clip. Go to your titles browser, and I'm going to use the soft edge title, which is in the 6th row, and we're just going to place it on top of the clip, and then let's go ahead and change the text to read Bhutan, Land of the Thunder. When you add that title to your project, you get an extra text tool at the top, and now you can change your font. You can change the size, you can select alignment, different styles, you can maybe add a border to your font, change the color. That's your choice. Now let's preview the title. That looks pretty good. Now let's add a video filter. That's always fun and easy. Click on your filter button in the upper right hand corner and click in the drop down list. You'll get filters that show up in your browser. Just skim through those and pick out one you like. And then let's preview that effect. I like that. Now we're going to work on reversing video footage. If you look at the third shot in our project, the videographer zoomed away from the palace, and it would make more sense in an introduction piece to zoom in. We can't change that zoom effect, but we can reverse the footage so it starts at the end and then goes back to the beginning, zooming in. Click on your retime tool or your speed dial in the upper right corner and select the reverse button. Now let's play it and see what it looks like. This won't work on all shots, but it certainly works on this one. Now we'll use some slow motion. Go to the clip that's just past the 2 cutaway shots, and you'll see a man twirling in a red smock. Your retime tool should still be open, so go to the speed drop-down list, choose slow, and then I'm going to choose 50%, and that works pretty well. It makes it look more dramatic. Now we're going to add a freeze frame, and a freeze frame is basically when you take a still shot of your video like what's happening right here. Go to the second to last clip in your project and skim through it until you find the apex of his jump, the highest point. Go to your menu bar, click on Modify, and then Add Freeze Frame. It will add a yellow border showing the range of the freeze frame. We want to split that clip and get rid of the remainder of the video. Place your cursor on the right side of the border and then press Command B. Command B is a shortcut for the blade tool. Now delete the remainder of your video, and here it is. Let's add a Ken Burns effect to that under your crop tool, and you can adjust the frames. I would put the ending frame on the inside so it zooms in. There you go. Now we're going to take the easy route and add transitions to all the clips in just one step. Go to Settings, and on the right hand click the button that says Automatic Content. That will add a cross dissolve to every single clip unless the clip is too short. These automatic transitions don't keep you from customizing individual transitions, however, so I'm going to add a fade to white in between the last two clips. Now we're going to use the auto color correction tool. It's a lot like the enhance tool in Photos. Go to the color balance tool, and under that is a button for auto. Now the colors look a lot richer. Next we'll correct the white balance in the second shot of the flags. It looks almost like it has a green cast to it. Click on the same button, this time click on white balance, and use your eyedropper to either click on a white or a gray spot in the photo. It's your choice. A lot of times gray works the best, and then click on the blue confirm button. So you're done with the video tutorials now, and you're ready to start your own projects and use your own creativity. Good luck!